So I look horrible, but how many kitchens can I cook in this week? Don't know. Been in a lot. I also have a hairdo because we went to the cemetery to put out flowers, and the wind, because it was a nice day and I had my windows down in the Jeep, my hair was so ignore the hair. Also, I don't want to run AC. Actually, it's cooler here today. I've got this end of the house windows open, not that end of the house, for obvious reasons. If you've been following my channel, if you've not, both you missed a lot. And so I just want to cook some dinner. I've got to go see my doctor about recent tachycardia because of my thyroid medications. And so I'm up here I'm going to cook dinner and go see the doctor. Tomorrow I'm going to go to Muddy Pond with my mom and her friend. Saturday is my birthday. I turn a ripe old age of 47. And I'm just having one of those weeks. Anyway, I had to come up here because I need to check my doctor and I need to get another round of clothes. Also, update from the ER where I told y'all when they changed my thyroid medicine, it made me swell and feel horrible. I just swelled. I am down 9 pounds from Sunday at the ER. So you tell me that medicine was doing anything good for me. So that's just where I'm at. So I've got on my little tiny apron Aunt gave me. She used to be a bartender. Bartenders and pastors. I was bound, child. Anyway, I want Alfredo tonight. I want homemade Alfredo. So we're gonna make homemade Alfredo because that's what I want to eat. So we're gonna make it. I'm also making some Italian bread. Haven't been here, so nothing's where I left it. It's lovely. That's okay. We'll deal. I had to wash dishes, but it's okay. It was not that bad. It was not as bad as I thought it would be. So I'll deal with it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. My shelf over my sink is always jumbled. If you have a nice shelf over your kitchen sink, hooray for you. Okay, hooray for you. Okay, so I've been feeling better today. I've been walking good the last few days because the weather's changed and all the fluids come off me, and I feel so much better. So I've been trying to catch up. Somebody's eating eggs for breakfast because Henrietta was out. This is like the best little thing I ever bought off Temu. Holy crap. It cooks 4 eggs at a time. She has a metal insert in there. You set the eggs in there, you fill her just a little water. 5 minutes, you got 4 perfect hard eggs. So apparently he's been eating hard-boiled eggs. Good for him. We're gonna make Alfredo. I think I've got fettuccine noodles. Anyway, I've been watching the news. Been watching the news, catching up. Because when I was so sick, I was not watching anything. I want fettuccine. I know I bought fettuccine noodles. I did. Nothing's where I put it. I bought fettuccine noodles. We're gonna do fettuccine. Oh, this is gonna take forever. Here, watch Fearfully Created with Marina. I just found her and I thought, oh my god, I bet you were related. I really enjoy her content because she doesn't try to act perfect and she doesn't try to excuse who she is. Not that I think there's an excuse for who I am. Oh Lord. But I really like Marina off Fearfully Created because when she's cleaning her house and doing stuff, I'm like, I get you, girl. I understand. I have no makeup. I'm just trying to get through the day. And I'm blind. Who's with me? Howdy out there. I saw somebody pop on. So we're going to make fettuccine Alfredo. We're going to start by boiling some water. And when I put my noodles in, I always put a little spray of oil in my water. My eyeball's itching. Why's my eyeball itching? And I don't think I have any jarred Alfredo sauce. No, hang on, I may be lying. I'm not lying. I don't have any jarred Alfredo sauce. So we're going to probably end up making our own or doing a tomato sauce and thickening it with mozzarella. I want the true Alfredo But at the same time, honestly, I think I just want pasta. I think it's because I've lost 9 pounds this week because of that thyroid medicine and the swelling it caused the last 2 weeks. My eyeball's itching. So I don't really know what's wrong with my thyroid. I think my Graves' disease kicked in. My endocrinologist is on it. Don't freak out. My eye's itching, y'all. Where did that come from? Okay. And so I think I just want carbs. Which is okay. That's fine. Oh, I lied. I have some starter Alfredo. Okay, we have some starter Alfredo. I thought I bought some. I have to look. Nothing's everywhere. I left it here. So I'm going to get out my big Pioneer woman, Mr. Hart. She's been with me a while. And I'm going to transfer it over here to do pasta. But I'm going to start my noodles over here on a different burner. Because what's dinner if you don't have 5 burners going? So I'm going to start it over here. And then switch it and do the cheese sauce over here. Because that's where I roll. And I don't like to have to, stuff away. So I've had a crazy health week. Mom's had a crazy couple of health weeks. If you've been with me, you know I've been at the farm a lot, and I'm only up here for like the court dates. It stopped because the lady that I had to take to court, or that the state took to court because of what she did to me, she's getting true billed over to criminal court. So she's going through indictment to the grand jury. Thank God I only took it serious. Who'd have thunk? You know, I'm a retired parole officer, but I don't like people slinging lead at me, especially when they're high on blood and urine. Listen, if you don't know what meth is, you should look it up. The different ways they have to manufacture it. And in Appalachia, they use what's commonly referred to as the shake and bake method, and they use a lot of urine. And they don't care whose it is. So if y'all have a meth problem, you know, when they say poor people grow up drinking the hose water, y'all took it to an extreme, didn't you? Whoo, Lord. Okay. So anyway, I was watching the news the other day. This is just where I believe what I watched, where my water starts boiling. I watched the news. The South African president, boy, he just stepped in a pile. Just stepped in a pile. You know, everything's documented now. Everything goes on the internet. Let me tell you the things that that will always repeat in the world, okay? For some ungodly reason, and we need to work on these things, world. For some ungodly reason, there's always going to be some kind of genocide in Africa. If I could fix it, I would. I don't think I can. I think they like it that way. Okay? You want to get to my other... Okay, hang with me for a minute. We're going to get to some truth. Boy, YouTube may not like me after this. They won't monetize. Poor David is done. So I just when I borrow the, I'm just going to say what I want to say when I'm here. So, y'all might like Trapper Dave videos. If you do, go watch them on Trapper Dave Waters. Because I get on here on this Hillbilly Heart, and I like to trim my mouth. I'm going to. So anyway, there's always going to be genocide in Africa. I don't know why. I wish I could fix it. I believe it's because it's an emotional wound that they want to keep open. That's it. Hi everybody, I'm seeing normal emblems. I think that's Sal. Hi everybody. They want turmoil in a place where they can create an emotional issue, keep an emotional issue going, create emotional hostages, and bank an emotional dinero. If you are giving your energy to all this hubbubbery going on over there, think twice about it, because it ain't nothing good. It ain't nothing good. And then there are people, and I'm talking, listen, I'm Scots-Irish Appalachian here in America, and Native. Mostly Irish, because you can tell. The only freckled kid at the pal. But there are people whiter than me standing up and saying, you need to take your back to Africa. Now, to have said that a few years ago. Yes, this is salt. How appropriate. To have said that a few years ago. Holy crap. Why is it okay to say it now? Because those are still Africans. I don't understand. And then, we've got a whole lot to do about nothing. If we are so bored that we start to pull our whole world apart based on race again, we got too much time on our hands. And when you have too much time on your hands, you normally become somebody's puppet. Because then you get out of the bounds of your experience and your interest, your creativity, and you borrow somebody else's because you have idle hand and you have to dip your patties in the water. And so if you are not greatly intrigued or interested or have things that take your energy, then you will inevitably jump on somebody else's canoe and say, let me help paddle downstream or upstream, as it may be. And you don't always realize that you're helping somebody that doesn't need help, doesn't deserve help. Nobody likely wants to give these people help. And what I say when I say this is, look at how many people now have no self-interest, kind of self-evaluation through their own interests, through their own hobbies. They don't have a place to belong anymore because they have no hobbies, they have no interest, they've isolated, they're internalized, they're totally perspective, and they feel like a loner, so they go into this loner sensation. And then they start to create issues. Oh my God, I wish I wasn't blind so I could see. I will try to peek at the comments in a minute. And then because they feel alone, they go and inevitably get seen by a therapist, and I used to be in that clinical setting. Then they go to a psychiatrist as they get formally advanced. They see a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist says, let's put you on this medication, 100% of which has side effects that say may cause certain ideations and violent behaviors, outbursts, okay? So to fix the problem, there is a chance that the medication could cause a problem. But nobody talks about that a lot. Now, that was one of my big concerns when I was actually sending people to see the psychiatrist. I was like, do I make a bigger issue? Could this be resolved in a better way? And 99.9% of the time, yes, it could. Hi, Gypsy. Oh, I can barely. Thank you, Gypsy, for tossing links out there. I appreciate that. We've got Annette in here. We've got Sal. We've got Gypsy. I'm not blind. I swear. My eyes are much better today, too. I'm doing better, but I hope I still feel better. I hope she doesn't try to raise this medication dose again because I didn't like it. It didn't like me. But anyway, so now we have kids that don't belong, and they go to therapists, they go to psychiatrists, they get on this medication. They think the medication is going to make them belong. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. If you don't physically try to alter your problem, which is change your routine, change your demographic, change your support systems, and physically attack your problem, which is self-isolation and living in your head too much. Listen, you don't pay rent to live up here. This is where you get locked. Okay? Pay rent to live out there somewhere. Pay. The do you pay to live out there in the world is good. You need to be out there with people. So then they get on this medication and their behavior becomes worse. Now, if you look at the pew-pews in the educational settings lately, 100% of them have been on. Go look at the coroner and the findings. They've been on an antidepressant or something to alter an issue. Correct an issue, alter an issue, treat an issue, however you want to stick it to the wall. 100%. So the only thing that all of them had in common is that they had sought help pharmaceutically and it had not worked. So if we were shooting fish in a barrel, that would be the first one we should take off the list and say this should not be done anymore, because 100% it creates this issue, this super select sect, but it's still something we should try to divert from. We've got so many people that do not identify, and they're trying to create this where I have to be so unique that no one else can be like me. Well, honey, that is a lifelong path that is going to wear your breeches and your shoes out, because you're never going to outrun somebody that's weirder than you. You're never going to outrun somebody else that's got less qualms or will pawn their honor. You know when people say pawn, we call it pawn your honor. Well, what will you pawn your honor for? Because there's always somebody that will cut the price on the pawn and will pawn their honor for less. So don't try to go and like out-strange somebody, out-unique somebody. It doesn't work. So we've got these people in a race to be strange, be weird. And that's how they're going to find their people. No, that's how you're going to find your detriment. And I don't understand why people don't understand that. So we've got this self-isolation mentalism going on. We've got it happening at everybody's issues up here. And now we're seeing it go over. But there's always going to be these issues in the world, and if you look at the world, they always repeat. But here's the thing that I've been reading about. I got on the money trail the other day, okay? I got on because money is normally like a significant thing. Well, what happened 5 years ago, right? They shut us all down, and we all lived in panic, and we all thought we were going to lose everything, right? A lot of responsible people in the world that felt debt pinch them during the pandemic were like, I don't want to be here again. So over the last 5 years, they've really worked really hard at paying off debts and getting in a better place because they see the instability in our world, and they're like, when is that going to happen again? I don't know, but by God, I ain't going to be here again. So they've been paying off their debts. And we've become, for the most part, a much more responsible society. For the most part. At least financially. I'm not going to say emotionally. I'm going to say financially. And so a lot of have been really getting out of debt. It's really become a big thing for a lot of families. And it's been the lower income families that have done it. Because where does the wealth come from in the U.S.? Taxation, interest on debt, debt being consolidated, debt rolling over, debt becoming debt times 10. So the people over the last 5 years that have gotten out of debt in these lower, because it's really not a middle class anymore, these lower class families or these poverty-stricken areas, they've been the ones primarily getting out of debt because they did worse than anybody else during the pandemic. They were like, by God, we ain't going to be here again. Start paying them people off. That becomes a problem for the upper echelon in our society. The people that make the laws. And I do this because we all know what laws are about. If you look everywhere that they have kind of a wake up, a reckoning, and the society kind of goes, oh, well, let's simplify, there's some kind of disaster that comes right along. And then guess what? Everybody that had got a better place is set back in debt and hurting worse than they were in the beginning. We've seen it in North Carolina. We've seen it in Appalachia repeatedly. We just saw it in Kentucky last week. Think about it. Think about it. It never happens in these bigger places, right? Never. Never, because most of the bigger places are government funded, government fed. But these smaller places, people try to get out of debt, we don't receive a lot of that money. They may try federal grants, but a lot of them don't come through. We don't have a lot of federal dollars. But what they do get from us is debt because we're poor. And they love it. Oh, Mary's in here now. Hi, Mary. Mary gave me very important links. And me and Mary must have our minds must meld because we were on the same path this week. So when I look at South Africa, every time I see a humanitarian crisis, I see money. I start looking for money. Anytime I see somebody put philanthropist somewhere important, I start looking at money. Because that means, don't look at me. I might use a lot of cash, but I'm giving a little bit here so you don't see what I absorb. Look at the places that have the disasters. Now here, you can ask Sabrina Wallace this when we finally get her on this channel and do this interview. It will occur. For like the last several years, I have been consumed by the tremors in the New Madrid fault line. Not because it's been a few hundred years and we're due one, but because the minor earthquakes have amplified like 17 times. So it wasn't surprising to me when I got jolted the other morning out of the bed almost. It wasn't surprising to me at all. Wait for it. What did the government just say? A task force is going to where? Memphis. To clean up the streets of Memphis. I mean, hallelujah, Lord love him. Somebody needs to. Memphis is one of those places I don't want to go nowhere near. No. So they've said, oh, we're going to go in and we're going to send this task force to clean up Memphis. It is getting too bad. It is. Lots of places in the United States are too bad. Memphis is really a big one. And if they're willing to take care of it, it's been a problem for a while, but people that have said leave it be. Last 3 years, the earthquakes have really, 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 really significantly, quadrupled beyond. So it was becoming a problem. Maybe they're amping something up, because if they do clean this area up and they get it set right, there's going to be a loss of what? Money, money, money in those lucrative yet illegal flows of money. And where are they going to get their money? They're going to have to reset the debt for the people. I think I'm on to something. Like at one time, Walmart held my money and they said they couldn't fulfill my order, but it'd take them 10 days to get my money back. And I said, no, sir, because if I want something, I have to pay for it that day. I want my money back, and since I gave it to you willingly for a contract that you breached, you must give it back to me now immediately. And they were like, oh, it's going to take us 7 to 10 days. I said, why? So you can use it, draw interest on it. I said, how many people do you say no, hold their money for 10 days? How much money do you make off that in a week? Buddy, I had my money in like 3 hours. They called to let me know it was going. Should be at your bank. Call and check. Because I figured it out. I figured it out. How many times have you paid a big organization to purchase something and they go, we can't fulfill your order, it's going to take us 14 to 21 business days to return your cash. Well, what do they do with your cash for 14 to 21 business days? Because they don't hold it and go, oh, this belongs to Miss Waters in Tennessee. I'm going to keep it safe in my little pocket until I can get back to her. No, they invest it. And they've got a lucrative, basically petty cash fund from everybody that and say it's going to take us X amount of business days to get your money back to you. It does not. It does not. Blockbuster Video would charge you a fine for 3 minutes if you were late. And you think our government can't get funds to you in a day? Bull honky. Bull honky. Anyway, I've been reading. So, I'm thinking what we're seeing, it's also another way to control people. So not are they controlling people, they're putting them back into poverty. They're also increasing their debt to solvency ratio. My God. And so they're keeping the people down, putting them back under control, sinking them back into debt, and making tons of money. If you look at that South African president, didn't his skin look so nice? His suit was so sharp. He didn't have any worry lines on his forehead. Must be nice. Must be real nice. But oh, when they showed that video, it looked like a little 3-year-old got caught stealing candy out of the church lady's pocketbook. It was funny. It's funny. I don't care who you are. It's funny. Annette, I don't blame you. When I can, I do too. And isn't it funny when they say you can't pay cash? I'm sorry. What's the world based on again? You know, if they ever don't put a currency in a contract, pay them in pinto beans. Just to repay it, log out the worth of a pinto bean and pay them in pinto beans. I'm mean, ain't I? I just got one of those mines. I'm paying you. You didn't stipulate what. Pinto beans. You can do a lot with them. Works for me. There was a guy that called David the other day. David ain't been anywhere to incur debt. Sir, we got a debt collection for you for $600. David said, where in the heck did you get that? Because I don't know nobody, nothing, ain't been nowhere to incur debt. Now I've trained him. You send me an itemized statement of my debt and the original contract that you purchased, and I'll pay it. Well, number one, they can't send you an itemized statement because when they purchase it, 9 times out of 10, they don't get it. 9 times out of 10, it's not legal. 9 times out of 10, it's a health bill. And 9 times out of 10, if they come up with your health bills, like, and they say it was for this treatment, that treatment, well, they just sold you my HIPAA information, you violated HIPAA, so I ain't paying that law, you can take me to court. You got him bent over a barrel. So I kind of trained him. I played with a telemarketer on Mom's this morning. It was fun. I told him that I had 400 cows that all needed rectal exams to bring his gloves and help me. I enjoyed his call every day, but I needed help. I'm a turd. My dad's a bigger turd. I strive to one day be in his turd status. Y'all know my dad, he's a turd. But I'm sitting here thinking, look at where all these things have happened. And I'm not trying to like try to force a look at this, but I've been looking at this for a while, and it keeps lining up, even though I don't want it to, even though I want to see a variable go in there that spins my viewpoint and makes me look at something else. But all I see are medium to lower class people in rural areas getting debt reset by the government with no help whatsoever. And all these people saying the National Weather Service cut. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Everybody got their warnings. While I'm right by there. I got my warnings. Got my warnings. Spitting distance from the natives. Got my warnings. Knew well ahead of time it was coming. Great coverage by like local news, Nashville, Bowling Green. Great coverage. All the things went out. Unlike Hurricane Helene, all the warnings went out. So stop trying to say this was made by somebody, can somebody lose jobs? No. And hear me tell you about government jobs. Let me tell you, look, I used to be a government employee. I used to work for the state. I've worked for the feds before. Boyle. Government workers, they don't need to be more numerous. They need to do their jobs. Because when I was supervising over 450 offenders in 5 counties and teaching cognitive behavioral therapy, I was also babysitting half a caseload for the other officer in another county who would never show up. So when my people were reporting, his people would report. They'd report on the lunch break and go, I can't take another point off of work. I'm here and I have to take a longer lunch break, and if I can't take another point, I'll get fired. So I would see them. If you see them, you must enter their case note. Half the time, if you enter the case note and then they get a revocation, you prosecute it. So I absorbed a lot of his duties. And when I let them know, hey, since his other co-officer retired and you put me there, I've noticed that he leaves at like 2. He takes like 3-hour lunches. He hasn't done a home visit in like 4 years. And I'm seeing 68% of his offenders, and I can do his job and mine too, because mine's already pretty bad. Rather than protect me, who was doing 450 offenders, I was supervising that many people. Murderers, y'all. Sex offenders. I'm not easy people. Interstate compact. Do you know that they said, are you just trying to create trouble? No, if I was trying to create trouble, I wouldn't be doing my job. I'd be acting like him. That's what I said. That's what I said. They said, well, we're going to have to investigate this. Here's my pictures and evidence. You go investigate too. And they confirmed it. And did you know, because he was part of the Good Boys Club, because he wouldn't tell on his upper echelon people when they did wrong things? Trying to push clemencies through the governor's office that were not legit. Yeah, I reported those things. I wouldn't. So they covered it up, kept it up, took him in the paper room at the local hub office and said, "Don't do that again." And hated me because I figured. So that's your government workers right there. There don't need to be more of them. They just need to do their dang job. They get to eating high on the hog and they forget what work is, okay? And they feel after they've been there a few years, they seniority and tenure, and they don't think they can be let go. Let go with some of these buzzards. Hire people that really work, that care to be there. Because I got tired of working with duds. I'm here to tell you, I got tired of working with duds. And yeah, I'm super rural, so if I get most of my crap local, unless it's like something specialized. But it's like I was watching Ina Garten the other day. Is that how you say her name? I don't know. Is that how you say her? I don't know. Highfalutin thing. She's like, let's try to make one meal from all our local area farmers. She's like, this is terribly difficult, y'all, but I'm doing this for you. Bull crap, you're doing it for views. I don't know how you're having trouble, Ina. I make most of my meals from my own yard. They make things sound so difficult. Or you have to be pious in some way to find a local farmer. Put your hole in the ground and plant something. It'd do you good. It'd do you good. It teach you about the hardships of farmers, for one. But put a hole in the ground, plant something. Y'all see my dad's garden? He is 72 years old. That garden is beautiful. Most golf courses can attest to the manicured form that my dad keeps in his garden. And he's also tending a cattle farm, like 3 homes, and taking care of some elderly neighbors. One of which who just had a massive stroke, so toss prayers up. You know, and one of my big issues with how my health goes is that I can't do what I used to do. I used to work 80, 90 hours a week, run my butt off. But I was changing lives. I can't do that anymore. I'm irritated. I'm furious. I want to be working. I want to be used. I think I can do it, and I have a couple good weeks where my body acts like a normal person, and then I have those events like last week where my medication and my thyroid don't jive, or my neuromesh, takes me down, and I almost ended up in the hospital. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm kind of frail days, dadgummit. I feel like a giant pansy because I'm meant for hard work. It's what I enjoy. And I don't get to do it anymore. So I feel completely useless in the world. So I'm trying to make people aware of things you can still do when you feel useless. I still do quite a bit even though I'm useless. I do it in spurts. Do it in spurts, but I still do it. I still do it. Okay, so to make your own cheese sauce, we're going to start with a little bit of this Alfredo, but you're going to have to add to it. So if you've ever watched me make this before, you can if you don't have that, you can start out and make you a roux, and you can get you if you got keep bacon grease, make you like a gravy, put you some flour in there, tomato paste in there, add a little bit more flour, then add you some whipping cream, thicken it up, add you some cheese, season it. And what we're going to do is we're going to cheat with this, then we're going to add some heavy whipping cream and some mozzarella. Eat nature's stuff, like stuff that's made from nature as much as you can. Because if you look at shredded cheese from our stores, and it's like wood pulp, your body can't process that. Which is why they think cheese causes digestive issues. It doesn't, but wood pulp does. You can't eat xylem. That's the layer of tree that they try to feed you, FYI. So when you go to the store, get your big old honking piece of cheese and do some work. I used to chew on hay, but I never ate it. You need roughage, but not that kind. I did, however, eat sweet feed when I fed the horses. I got curious one day. I was like, is that good? Corn was pretty good. It's just corn. And we don't waste, so we're putting here and swishing, okay? So I've decided what I'm going to make. I listen to a ton of different people. I like a ton of different pages. A lot of people that don't live like me, don't think like me, but I really enjoy their personality and their vibe. And one of those people is Jess Jordan Things, Niche Lady's daughter. Totally not in any way would she probably understand or even probably respect what I do in my world. And that's okay. She doesn't have to like me back. That's fine. But I really enjoy her content because she's trying to educate. And sometimes I think she does a really good job of what she's trying to educate. Some of her, belief systems I don't agree with, but that's okay. I don't have to. I still enjoy what she's doing, and I still support her in that endeavor. She's pregnant, and she's kind of struggling a little bit. Pregnancy is hard, y'all. It's hard. You turn from somebody that was solely worried about yourself to now you're solely worried about this other creature. And you don't know how to do anything yet because it's your first time mom. But you're solely worried about this other creature, but you don't understand what's coming at you with your body, the world, emotions. You don't. I got the hiccups. She's in that state right now. She's really getting down on herself because she normally has stuff covered. She's one of those. It's bullet pointed and done on a dime. And she's starting to have some concerns about, is this a healthy, and I'm like, yeah, honey, that's normal. It's like, wait till motherhood. You get used to it now. It's okay. You're going to come out of the other side, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, gonna cut some cheese. You're going to be a beautiful creature and creation, but you're going to have to get through this. Who needs to go to the gym? Not me. But you know, you're gonna get through this, but you have to allow yourself to grow. You can't allow yourself to grow if you're worried about the growth and if you're uncomfortable with your growing. My door's opening. I think Dave's home. Dave's home. So I'll make her a baby snuggler and send to her. And I think I'm gonna make a possum. For obvious reasons. I like possums. Not in real life. Hello. How do you do? I think it's one I'm gonna make her. Oh my god, this cheese hard. Okay. I'm gonna let that start 1 minute melt and put my cheese in the bag. And the front news story of our paper today was the homeless issue in my community. Never in all my born days. Never in all my born days did I think I'd see somebody like having the issues of somebody taking a butt naked bath in the fountain at Jamestown Park. I mean, you just don't think these things. You're like, what? I go to that post office sometimes, and they're like, be careful because they're hounding and harassing people for money going in the post office. It would happen one time. One time. But I normally go to other post office because they have 50,000 stairs. I don't do stairs. My legs, my knees, no thank you. I don't like the, and the disability ramp, it's like 3 miles long. It's almost harder than the stairs. If I'm having a bad leg day, it's harder than the stairs. Seriously, people. Yeah, eat in season, eat fresh. If you have to eat out of season, dehydrate stuff. Do it yourself. Eat local. And y'all, don't be scared of eating wild game. I used to be in the broiler house business. If you know what they feed the meat animals that you eat, you would not turn your nose up to wild game that eats natural. Just FYI. About 20 minutes to dinner. Are you okay with that? Okay. Where's my, there it is. Spinneroni. Oh, you sound like you got a snotty cold. Oh, it's been so windy. Who else has had the wind? We put city decorations out today, and the wind was horrible. We had to lean into it to walk. And B and Mom were it. Oh, it was horrible here, Gigi. It was horrible. Put my cream in. I'm gonna boost the seasoning on the sauce too. Yeah, that wind was horrible. I had to. We took Gorilla Tape to hook the saddles because we didn't think that they would make it. No, when we take that off, we may have to clean the tombstones. It ain't gonna go nowhere. It ain't gonna leave. Oh, yeah, it was horrible. The wind was horrible. But you look at it, and then you look at, okay, look, just for shits and giggles. Go and look at how most prefab homes are anchored to the ground. Look at the poundage. Look at the poundage on the pins and stuff that are anchored into the ground. Look at the ratings. Look at how they're tested. Look at the weather from over like 70 years in that Kentucky region. And just go and search London tornado path pictures. Right, we got one more. It ain't right. It ain't right. Something's wrong. And I don't care if people come here and like, you're crazy. I ain't gonna be holding my head crying. I didn't expect it. So, I'd be crazy. And then they say we're putting all these towers up to help your phone. A phone that works off all towers. I've got like 17 new towers in my county and around my county. My cell phone still sucks. So, tell me another lie. What's the biggest problem in America? Government and stupid people. Sometimes that's 2 in 1. That smells good. That smells good. Okay, so I want to check in so you could count all the places I've made dinner this week. It's been a week. It's been a week. Also put like a couple of ladlefuls of my starch water in this to thicken it up. Just FYI if you're doing this as well. We wanted to beat the crowds this weekend, so we went. We knew we would not have a place to park it, so Mom had to drive through there today, and I said, well, I'm just going to follow you, and I'll help you. And so we went to 2 cemeteries and got everything put out. And gorilla taped the saddles because we were going to leave. So I will have to be there when we take them up too because she won't be able to do that. I taped them good. They're too good. Okay, now we're going to drain our fettuccine. I'll put my ladlefuls in there before I drain it. And I know y'all want Mama to do an Etsy store, but if you like her Inselbright casserole pot holder thingies, let me know. I've been on Etsy store, but she just doesn't know if she's got the heart to sit down there and sew for other people all the time. It's not family, you know. But like if a few Gibbons want some of these, I'm sure she's got them in her little shop downstairs. I'm sure we can get them to you. I'm positive. Where's the button? Where's there it is? Woo! Going to the spa. I'm just sticking to my sauce, and then I'm going to dump my noodles in a minute. So noodles with some cold water. And then get ready to put them in your sauce with cheese and everything melted and thickened up. And what I'm going to do with this tomorrow with the leftovers to freshen it is I'm going to steam some broccoli from the garden and put in it so it still has a fresh aspect tomorrow for lunch. Because I got some running to do and I ain't going to be cooking. But I want it to not taste a day old. Totally like tricking myself to eat it. Tricking myself to eat it. Do you have the Inselbright? It's a nice. Did you know they sell it on Temu? I had to go to the Hobby Lobby. That place is a death trap for your dollar. And you walk to the very back of the store. And then you have to beg somebody to cut it. They sell it on Temu. Temu's back to normal, by the way. You just have to make sure you find Temu and not a local warehouse. No shipping, no imports. It's back to normal. So everybody that was, you can stop. I'd say Jeff Bezos is unhappy. I think the crows stalk me. Okay, dinner's almost ready. I'm going to finish this up, thick and sauce, dump the noodles in it, and feed him, feed me, and then I rest. If I feel like it tomorrow and out in the running, I'll do some videos because I know you guys have been wanting to see that little Amish community. So if Mom and her friend do go, I'm going to go so they don't get lost. And I'll try to clear some space on my phone so I can take a few videos. But that's the plans for tomorrow, and seeing the doctor just to catch up after this, whatever happened with this thyroid stuff. The endocrinologist is on it, but my primary me as well, so we're going to take care of that. And hoping next week is calmer. I don't know. So enjoy the weather after the wind stops blowing, and I'll be here, there, and yonder, pop up in a couple of days. Bye, guys.